So I'm here in the idyllic little desert oasis town known as Silver Lakes. And this happens to be the closest little slice of civilization to the patch of desert that I'm headed out to today. You may have guessed it already, but I'm headed out to the Helendale RCS facility, which is operated by the one and only Lockheed Martin Skunk Works, known for their classified work on all manner of advanced aerospace projects. Now, Skunk Works has made some headlines over the last few months, both in the UFO, UAP world, as well as the aircraft world. You, of course, have George Knapp, who made a statement to Congress that implicated Lockheed Martin directly as one of the companies that holds potential off-world technology.
It's been widely reported and suspected that Lockheed Martin is one of the contractors, the defense contractors, that has held this stuff, stored it away in secrecy, and tried to figure out how it works.
You also have, in the aircraft world, the new Victus drone that Lockheed just announced. Last time I was here in Helendale, I of course managed to capture this footage of an airframe on the RCS pylon undergoing a radar cross-section analysis. Needless to say, no matter how you look at it, Skunk Works has definitely been up to some interesting things over the last year or so. I've been really excited to get back out here, spend another night camping out, and see what we can document. After I filled my tank, stocked up on food and water, I headed towards the outskirts of town, soon hitting the network of dirt roads that would take me to tonight's destination. Last time I came out here, I rode my motorcycle right up to the front gates before riding around the perimeter of the facility into the nearby hills. This time I plan to make a slightly different approach that wouldn't immediately tip security off to the fact that I'm in the area. Taking a little bit different approach than I did last time. Instead of just driving right up to the facility and skirting the perimeter to get to my viewpoint, I'm gonna try and go for a little bit more of a stealthy route, and I'm gonna actually come in from the east, park on the other side of this mountain range here, and hike over the mountains at night to get to my viewpoint, which should hopefully give me the element of surprise. Hey, just happened to see a Janet fly by right over me. Probably going to Palmdale, I assume. All right, so I'm setting up my base camp in such a way that I'm out of sight from the buildings, but I can see the very corner of the fence line. And I remember last time when they were doing a test, they had a security truck do a sweep along the fence line with a spotlight. So from where I'm at, I should be able to see the security truck do a pass, and then I'll know if they're gonna do a test. So my hike is probably gonna be about a mile into those hills. Luckily they do the test in the middle of the night, so it'll have cooled off by then. Cause man, it's middle of September, but still hot as hell out here. All right, so I got my route plotted out on Google Earth and picked my observation point out, just making sure I'm still on public land. So I'm gonna head out on my hike here in a minute, but first, a quick word about one of our new channel partners. So I'm super excited to announce that I'm partnering with Ready Radio to put out a couple custom Uncanny Expedition radio kits. We have this one here, which is a basic kit. We also have Pro level kit, comes in a nice hard case here. So the first kit option includes the GM21 radio, which is a fantastic GMRS radio ready to go for off-grid communication. You also get an upgraded antenna, the AR771 with it. It gets you a little better performance. Stepping up from there, you get into the UV Pro kit, which comes in this awesome hard case here. This is a more feature-rich amateur radio. You can listen into aviation bands, FM radio. You also have text messaging, Bluetooth, a bunch of other cool features. You get an upgraded antenna with this guy as well. So I'm super impressed with what they put together with these kits. If you do a lot of off-grid exploring like I do and want to stay in communication, definitely go grab one for yourself. Hit up the links down below to get the full specs. Grab one for yourself, and they are super limited edition. All right, so just to give a recap on the Helendale RCS facility, it's a facility where aircraft or parts of aircraft that are in development have their radar signature measured. The airframes are hoisted up on this pylon that comes up from the ground, allowing them to quickly hide classified airframes if, say, a spy satellite, for example, is passing overhead. The facility extends over 200 feet below ground, and the fact that it has such a large underground portion has fueled all sorts of speculation about other potential secretive activities that could be taking place out here, or even the existence of an underground tunnel system that connects the facility to other military and private contractor sites in the Mojave Desert. Claims like this would be hard for me to verify from the surface unless I get my hands on some ground-penetrating radar or something, but we do know that classified projects and black budget programs have or are currently being worked on here by Skunk Works. I thought I heard a plane circling straight up ahead, and looks like we got a Predator drone. It's been flying circles. I still have service over here, so I was able to pull it up on my ADS-B app too. All right, so I think I found the spot where I'm gonna set up camp. I'm gonna pitch my tent kind of down in this little shallow ravine, and then for my actual viewing, I'll just kind of climb up on this little hill above the tent and crouch down in the bushes and see what we can see. I've been seeing a few vehicles driving down the test area. There's a couple cars here. And we got a Osprey way in the distance there. It's pretty far out from the facility. Looks like it's coming in for a landing down there. There's one of the Lockheed Martin security trucks driving up past the pit. So right on the other side of that metal building is the opening for the underground chamber. As the sun finally set, there was a number of security vehicles driving around, lots of activity. I sat there in the dark for a few hours, and eventually the familiar pylon made an appearance, hoisting something up into the air above it. Yeah, it's hard to make out what they have up there against the backdrop of the mountains. I'm at a little bit of a different vantage point than I was last time I was out here. I kind of skirted around the base of the mountain, so I'm a little bit closer to the facility, to the fence line, but I don't have quite as much elevation. So it's kind of a trade-off. You kind of need to have a good contrasting backdrop when you're shooting through night vision like this. There's no ambient light at all. All right, so they did actually raise a test article up onto the pylon. It's this really long, kind of triangular shape object. So I don't actually think it's representative of an actual airframe. I think it's probably just for calibration purposes, or they might test different stealth paints on it or something like that. I'm not totally sure. Somebody can probably chime in the comments. Either that or it's the world's flattest TR-3B. At one point in the night, what looked like one of the security trucks drove up out of the facility onto a dirt road and up to one of the hills behind me. It looked like they were shining a bright spotlight around, which I thought was kind of strange. That's so weird. I can't tell what they're doing. There's some more drone activity overhead. Got one making a flyby right now. After spending most of the night stargazing with the NVGs and watching the triangle rotate around on the pylon, I eventually went to sleep. I woke up the next morning to see something kind of unexpected and a bit interesting. Okay, I wasn't talking about that, but I'll come back to my tortoise friend in a few minutes. At some point, after I'd gone into my tent for the night, in the early hours of the morning, they'd replaced the model that had been on the pole the night before with something different. This wasn't that thin triangle that I'd seen before. My tripod still had the night vision and spotting scope setup attached to it for my night viewing the night before, so I quickly grabbed my camera and shot handheld for the rest of this. Wow, it's hard to tell what that thing is at this distance, especially through all the heat haze, but it looks pretty crazy. They got it rotating on that pylon pretty fast too. Looks like potentially like an upside down fuselage of maybe a drone or... Well, the pole just kind of tilted back, so I'm thinking that means it's about to retract down below. Boy, I caught this thing just in time because I haven't been watching it here for very long. Yep, there it goes. They're starting to pull it back under, down into the prep chamber. Wow, it's so crazy to see it retract. All right, so that was pretty cool. We actually did get to get some daytime footage of something on the radar cross-section pole. I'll blow it up on a bigger screen at some point and maybe speculate a bit about what that could have been. As I was packing my things up, I noticed an interesting flatbed truck arrive. Presumably this is what carried the airframe to and from the test chamber. So we got this truck stopped and now it's backing down into the underground area. So the prep chamber door is out of view, but presumably this truck's going to back all the way in and load up the airframe on it. Sure enough, after not too much time, the truck emerged from the underground entrance with the airframe or test article loaded on the back of it. There was an entourage of other vehicles following it as well. So after the truck left, I broke camp and headed back to my car, upon which I noticed apparently I made a new friend. This extremely sociable desert tortoise wandered into my camp area and kept following me around. It's funny, I'd seen some signs mentioning desert tortoises in this area, but this is the first one I'd actually seen. Yeah, good boy. After I played with him for a bit, I looked on the horizon and I noticed I had another visitor. This one looked a little bit less friendly. Evidently, one of the vehicles from inside the facility had exited the back gate and seemed to be taking a little bit more of an active interest in me, something I hadn't really seen before. Yeah, I just kind of parked on the road there, watching me. If I wanted to leave right now, he would have to move because that's like the one way out. All right, well, the vehicle ended up pulling up like right next to me, probably 30 feet from me along a little trail here, and just kind of sat there for a few more minutes and then moved on further up the road. So I don't know if they're still watching me from a higher vantage point maybe, because they went somewhere up that way, but I don't know. Since I'm not trying to be stealthy anymore, I'll take a little cruise around the perimeter fence on the way out here. Here's the back gate into the complex. You can see it's restricted airspace based on that sign. It's funny, I actually get a lot of questions asking why I don't fly drones over some of these places. Well, let's just say it would not end well for me. Or the drone, probably. The marked security truck has been tailing me since I went by the back gate. I almost wonder if they have road sensors out here like they do at Area 51, because I've noticed whenever I turn onto this one particular stretch of fence line, it seems to always trigger the security truck to get dispatched out, even if they can't see me. Hey look, it's the Temu Camo dudes. No offense if any Lockheed security officers happen to watch my videos. So I'll pull around to the front now. I already got some good close-ups of these buildings the last time I documented this place, so I'll try not to retread too much ground here, but we'll take a quick look. More no drone signage here. I always think it's funny that the no trespassing signs here also say no loitering. Doesn't really seem like an enforceable demand considering the land outside the fence is public. Kind of like the no photography signs at military installations. I guess it could scare some people off, but good luck arguing in court if you actually try and prosecute that. There's the main cluster of buildings. You've got some storage and the radar used for testing. They probably store some of the test articles here on site, I would guess, but I suspect a lot of the things they're working on they'll truck over from the main Skunk Works headquarters at Plant 42. Coming right up here is the front security checkpoint, main gate. I sometimes wonder how much loitering I would actually have to do at this place before they called the sheriff or something. I'm gonna call it a wrap for today, so I will not be finding out. All right, I really appreciate you guys tuning in to today's exploration out at the Skunk Works site at Helendale. So as far as what that object or model was on the pole, I'm not an RCS expert, but to me, it definitely looks like a fuselage of some kind. Maybe it's an early stage of development for a new drone, or maybe even a manned tailless fighter, who knows? I do think it also could be potentially a model used specifically for RCS testing, maybe to test a specific material or coating or paint. Not totally sure on that, but it was a really cool catch nonetheless. Hey, who knows, maybe it's the new aerodynamic version of the Lockheed Martin Tic Tac. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Evie says to make sure you hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment, like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.